Hey guys, so it is 3:41 a.m. I know. I had promised myself that I wouldn't sleep late so I don't inflame my eye again. But I was so deep into my painting, I had hit a little spot that was just pinching me. So here I am. And I just want to say this real quick. Thank you so much for everyone who watched my video today. Thank you that I was actually very impressed and grateful that the comment section were good and decent, right? Except for one specific person who, if I sit to think about it now, it's not that she had a problem with my story, she had a problem with God or my idea of God, because from her perspective, I am not the perfect victim. You know, when people come to tell emotional stories, there's a certain look, there's a perfect victim always, right? And I don't fit that narrative, and I will tell you why I don't fit that narrative. Now, the story I told today is the story which I was comfortable to tell out of multiple different situations I've been through. And I can't lie, every time something bad happened to me, I would question God. You know, I would ask why me, and I went through so much trauma that sometimes I swear, I look at life and I laugh and I say, wow, how am I here? Strong, capable, without resentment, without hate, without, being selfish and saying, okay, let me just have things just for me. I asked all those questions. And mind you, I was born in a perfectly Christian family, in the sense of we went to church a few times a week. I was born Catholic, but we don't realize that Christianity and spirituality are completely different. Now, before I get into all that, this was the girl's quarrel. The way I started my video must have triggered her, right? Now, I am a person who has been through a lot of trauma. I like so much that I literally shut my own system down. I told you guys, if you watch my video from New Year, I will show you my hand again. Sorry, I'm left-handed, so I hold my phone with my left hand. Look at my finger. This is what trauma did to me. Both hands are like that. I struggle. This is my right hand. I barely do anything with it. My left hand is much better. And I always say trauma is the biggest form of cancer you would ever have, right? And I have learned how to come out of my situations. But like I said, my video today was not to say, oh, this happened to me or blah, blah, blah. My video today was a teaching moment of, at the end of the day, it's about protecting yourself, finding yourself in situations, knowing how to get out of it, and building your faith. That was the point of it. Not to call anyone out, and for the people who are going to try to search it's not the point. My mission on this planet is to try to re-educate a lot of people on different situations and how to handle them. Now, I don't like to even relate to my traumas. I don't like it at all. Now, this girl got angry that she said I said God saved me, and there's no possible way that God saved me in that situation. That after all, if I say I believe in God, why does God allow 3-year-olds get essayed? And of course, first of all, why are you questioning my faith? That was not the point of the video. Everybody gets to believe in what they believe in, but she kept going on and on and on. She wanted it to be embedded in my brain of how I shouldn't feel special because, after all, 3-year-olds, she just kept insisting, so I blocked her. And next thing, she uses her fake page again to tell me how happy she is that that's all I'm gonna think about right now. And she says, why didn't God save the little girls? I don't know if she's referring to herself. I don't know. The truth is, when it comes to SA, sexual assault, it's a terrible case. This happens every day to adults, children, boys, girls, everyone feels it. And yes, the truth is women go through this a lot more than the men, right? But it's not even a comparison. Now, what faith does a 3-year-old child have? I know God is the Almighty, He sees everything and all, but tell me what faith a 3-year-old has. I was able to, out of my beliefs, and I will explain a bit more, call out to God and say, God, please don't let this happen. There's a word I didn't want to use in my video, but don't let this happen. And for a second, everything made sense and everything stopped. Everything stopped. Now, it is difficult to expect that same level of spirituality from a 3-year-old. It is difficult because the only thing they would think of at that moment to call is mommy or daddy. Sorry, this topic makes me uncomfortable. Now, always understand that religion and Christianity is completely and utterly different from spirituality. You go to church for your pastors and your priests to teach you how to obey God and respect God. But the one thing they don't know how to do is actually teach you how to get closer to God. Remember, we were all born of source. We were born from source. And with that coming into this world, we have that light already in us. We have a direct connection to God. But why things don't work out very well for a lot of people is because they are more interested in the teaching of the church than having a direct connection with God. Like I said earlier, I was born in a Catholic faith. We were in church multiple times a week. We understood, we read the Bible, we did the baptism, we did all that. But no pastor would ever teach you how to have a direct connection with God, because once you realize and you tap into that other side of life, you wouldn't need the church no more. You wouldn't need the church no more, and you wouldn't have to pay tithes in the form they sell to you. I know it's a topic that a lot of people don't want to understand because they are very much into the preachings of the church. Literally anyone, even me tomorrow, I could say, oh, but I do have a good voice. People do listen to me. I could decide to go make a church and I could preach myself off and people will believe and people will follow. But I will never teach you the direct way to harness the one power you're missing, that is direct to God. That connection can never be broken. Even after death, I believe that connection will still be there in spirit. This life doesn't function just out of thin air. It doesn't function because we have leaders that give us rules and regulations. We follow because in every society there has to be some form of law dynamics. We follow it. But when I say the true Father, see, you don't even understand the blessings you can have. I have been in too many situations, and this is why I would never question what happens to me. It might be the most tragic situation. It is what is supposed to be. It's either I'm going to learn from it or it's setting me up for something else. And this is why I insisted in my videos, do not let your trauma win, because the trauma is not of God. Trauma only holds you down and holds your mind down and doesn't allow you breathe the good air. Remember, as much as there is good in the world coming from God, there is also evil. This world, there are two. There's yin and yang. There's sun and there's the moon. There's darkness and there's light. There would always be two sides of everything. It is your choice to decide what side you want to be on. And for you to tap into spirituality, it's gonna take you breaking away from who you used to be and coming into who you are supposed to be. It's not an easy journey and it hurts. But we'll talk about that next time. Good night, guys.